Hi, it's Mary, also known as Primary Painter, and I'm so thrilled to show in this video how I drew my illustration of Clive Rosfield, the main character from the phenomenal video game Final Fantasy XVI, one of my favorite games in the franchise. I'll do my best to show each step of the way. Please enjoy the journey. Let's start. Step 1. Pencil sketch and composition. Every piece starts with a simple sketch and comp. Clive is the central figure of this piece, so I started with his face and then built outward from that. I'm largely focused on the direction of and where things are, such as where his clothes are folding and general direction of the fire and smoke. Step 2. Solidify comp and basic inking. If the hair ain't flowing, I'm not going forward with my piece. Hair is my favorite thing to ink, so I like to take my time and feel each line section by section. I can't wait to show it up close later. But this looks good, so I can go all out in the live stream. Live stream start. With so many directions to potentially take, my first step here is to establish the darkest values around the center of the board. This means the deep shadows within the folds of his jacket, inner collar, gloves, and so on. To achieve this, I use certain tools of the trade. If it's very clear that a fold will be solid black, I use my Sakura Pigma FB to cover that section. If a section has variation, I will use the same 0.3 Pilot mechanical pencil I used in the sketch phase to indicate how heavy my line work should gradually be later. For those parts, I use my Sakura Micro Pigment inks at 0.45mm, 0.25mm, and 0.2mm. Super tiny! Essentially, I'm just using a pencil and variations of two Sakura ink pen types to complete this piece. These are waterproof archival inks, so when I set that pen to the board, there is no going back. And that is the challenge I deliberately set for myself. Thoughtful, intentional lines only. This is why I move from section to section. I'll set a part down to let my mind and eyes reset, and if the part reads well with fresh eyes later, I will lay down the ink. Repeat over and over again for hours, and my illustration will be done. Speaking of hours, this illustration is composed of 3 live stream sessions totaled at around 7 hours, which were then aggressively cut, edited, and sped up by 900% to make digestible for YouTube. Editing the raw stream footage took me 2 months alone to do on top of full-time work and the holidays, and it took me another 4 months to put together this video you're watching right now. Art really is a labor of love. But this type of labor is something that has always been with me. I have loved drawing my entire life, ever since I could hold a crayon, before I could even write my ABCs. It was my way of communicating when other means weren't available. Playing video games was also a normal part of my life before going to elementary school. As for anime and manga, that captured my heart at the tender age of 6 years old and never let go. I have loved all these things intensely since then. And all the stories and characters from such media, such as Sailor Moon, Naruto, Final Fantasy, Tokyo Ghoul, and Persona, have shaped who I am and how I face the world today. It's natural for me to pour my energy into expressing how much I've loved the series that move me. So, art really is a labor of love. But it's what I love most in this world, so I will keep creating, and creating. And of course I love Clive here, so that's high motivation already. With his clothing, chest, and armored hand established, I now move to the points where his cape begins to merge with the flames. Since the flames will be described as white, I made the deliberate choice to contrast them with the black coat. And I just have to gush a little about Clive's character design because his solid, dark, edgy hood, cape, and armor, paired with his flowing hair and red shirt accents, oh man, they really caused a buzz in the gaming community, and me too. And of course, he has such a big heart, constantly fighting for his friends, family, strangers, and the world. What's not to love? And since I'm gushing about characters in Final Fantasy XVI, I absolutely have to give a talk about the music in this game too. When I'm locked in on a drawing, mentally it is a solo journey, even if I have friends around. But it doesn't feel lonely while in the zone, because I always have music right there with me. And one of my favorite things to listen to while drawing is video game music, especially Final Fantasy. If you're curious about this game, Final Fantasy XVI's soundtrack, you've actually already been listening to it the entire time of this video. I carefully went through each track and specifically chose the ones that are iconic melodies of the franchise or are Clive-centered, such as the moment he accepts himself and his powers, which pair perfectly with this illustration process. If you have a favorite Final Fantasy song, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear which themes resonate with you the most as a fellow fan. In terms of time and music, I can go for hours listening and re-listening to an entire game soundtrack, or playlist of all my favorites from a franchise. This goes for anime as well. But, since you and I are here right now watching this drawing unfold, I'll share something a little silly about me and my process. If it's late at night and I'm on hour 4 of creating something, for example, I can reach one brain cell level. And that is when I break out the wacky media to listen to. I'm talking about crack videos made by all the fandoms I've been in my life, MMDs, down to the most obscure stuff connected to niche part of fandoms or things from the start of YouTube in the background. My voice actor streams are so good too. All these things just make me laugh so much in the most weeb way, keep my energy up, and remind me that even if there is a rough part in the drawing process, I will find the solution. Life is still fun, and it's fine to be goofy for a little bit during the process while still delivering quality work. Going back to business now, we're almost done with the second session. As mentioned before, I'm gently merging Clive's cape with where the flames will be emitting from. I'm filling out the remaining parts of his shirt and going over small lines to make them dark and bold, giving it all some pop and extra clothing texture while we're here. Whew. And with that, part 2 is finished! Here we are at part 3. It's all about the fire and flame details, baby. At this point, I'm going in with both knowledge that I want the fire and smoke to fan outward in order to frame Clive and make viewers' eyes focus on him, and on instinct on how I draw flames and steam in my style. There isn't much underdrawing for the fire. All I know is that I generally want the line art in these areas to be dark and heavy with thick flames to not only solidify the foreground on a technical level, but also visually resemble Clive's sturdiness of resolve as a character at the point of the game where he inspired me to draw. His armored fist across his chest is clenched in dedication, just as dedicated as I am to bringing him to life. At this point in the illustration, I am having so much fun here. I feel each line, each ember, excitedly coming out of me just as much as it is emerging out of Clive. I am clearly locked in and letting the joy of inking take over me here. I'll keep going back and forth and balancing each side for a while for balance, feeling so freed. It's the best. And when I feel like it, I'll take my darker black ink pen, kind of like a brush pen, and I will go over more of these lines, really make it thick and nice. After all those details are pretty much established, I work toward the background. Because of the foreground, we know that fire is emitting from him. So, in this next section, I switch up the line weight in my ink pen and choose thinner lines, curving them so that the viewer's eyes can find their way back to Clive himself. There's no need to hit the lines hard here, or they will take over all the details already found in his flowing hair, jacket, and flames. In choosing these thin lines, it seems that rather than Clive being consumed by his own fire, it now surrounds him in a warm, almost hugging manner. This is the feeling I was going for. And feeling good about the work here, all that's left are Clive's weapon and, most importantly, his facial expression. The final stretch. For me, the hair and face I draw are the most crucial points that determine whether I will continue a piece in its current form. Taking in the fact that I'm also drawing permanently with ink, no Control Z here folks, saving Clive's face for last is very important. I am human though, so as I had been streaming for several hours, I took a rest and carefully shaded and inked Clive's face later, which you can see in these last progress shots. And with that, it's time for the reveal! Are you ready to see the final result? Ta-dang! And here he is in all his final fully inked glory, Clive Rosfield. I'll take a step back here from the voiceover to let you enjoy the details present in this piece. Please enjoy, and I'll see you at the end for some closing notes. And that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I'm so happy to bring you on the journey with me through this process. If you enjoy my creative work and want to see more of it, please consider supporting my channel with a like, follow, or on social media. And if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, Clive, or if this illustration moved you, please let me know in the comments what you enjoyed. I'd love to do more of these in the future. Thank you again. Take care and keep painting!